everybody, right now. I'm Scotty J, and you are watching Rock Titan Live. We've got an amazing guest with us right now, and oh my God, Adrienne, Jack, I'm so thrilled to be here with you right now. I know you've been going through the gambit, as far as all the media stuff is concerned. But how you guys doing today?
Yeah. We're hanging in there, a little tired and excited to be here. How are you?
Pleased to be here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. And again, I know that everything has been insane. It's been a bit of a blitzkrieg, with Seven Spires, especially since you have your whole new album coming out here, February 14th? Am I right?
Yes.
So, dude, I mean, it's one thing to be coming out with your debut album, but then to be coming out with, the secondary album, it's one of those things that really defines who you are as a band. It's like, let's not be pretend. We want to make sure that everything is the real deal here. Are you guys confident that that is what this is?
I think so. I think, personally, I feel that the new album is better than the last one in every way, sonically, songwriting-wise. I feel like we've just bumped it up a notch, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm always terrified of putting out new music because I don't know why, but I am. But I know that I did the best that I could when it was recorded and written, so I'm peaceful with it.
Well, Adrienne, I feel like you're being a little bit humble here, all right? Because, I've listened to you. I've listened to everything that you have put out, for like the last few years. And, the one thing, we were kind of going back and forth, off the record, messaging back and forth. And, I didn't want to go all fanboy on you, and I apologize right now. Like, I know you're probably looking at one camera view of me, but then the audience is going to see a totally different camera view on me right now, so we're all in the same house right here. But, Adrienne, I have to say, and Jack, I'm sure you agree, you have to have one of the most beautiful voices that I have ever heard in my entire life. I swear to God.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I agree.
Thanks, Jack.
I mean, it's insane to me. Like, as I'm listening, to this new album, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, like, yeah, you guys are metal, you guys are rock and roll. But at the same time, I'm just thinking to myself, if you wanted to, like, Adrienne, for you, you could be like the female voice of every single character that Walt Disney wants to put out from now till Kingdom Come. Like, you could be the singing voice of every single voice that they put out there. Have you heard that before?
That would be so much fun. Thank you. That would be like a dream job that I'll never tell anybody that I... It would be the least metal thing, but that would be really so awesome. So thanks a lot.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure you're thinking, oh yeah, here's this, media guy, just blowing more smoke up our rear end. But with Emerald Seas, your secondary album that you put out there, my God, I mean, how long did it take for you guys? From the moment you finished up your first album to this one, to where you knew that, it was going to be kind of that boom, boom, boom. Because some bands, they take a while, I mean, it's like, all right, we put out this album. It was great. We better take our time on this next one because we're going to really be judged on this. You guys didn't seem to have any inhibitions on that at all.
The reason is because it was already written. A lot of the songs were first drafted in 2015-ish. So we've had some of them for quite some time. And, we had to basically put out Solveig first. So and tour that, and then record Emerald Seas and have it mixed, and that took some time, as we expected. And then then we signed with Frontiers, and that was really great. And it took longer than I think any of us wanted, but it was still a reasonably efficient process because our end of the work was basically done. I'm getting a poor connection notification. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we're good. We have not frozen one single instance, so we're good. We're good to go. Now, from what I understand, Adrienne, you're originally from like the Boston Northeast area, but I know that time zone wise, we're dealing with something a little bit different. So, are you not on the East Coast right now?
So yes, that's correct.
All right.
Actually born in Houston.
Okay.
And I moved away to England and Netherlands, back to England, then Boston for 3.5 years. And then I was kind of doing the tour thing and couch surfing a little bit. And then I was in LA, and now I'm back in Houston. All my things live at my parents' house when I'm not on tour. So that's where I am right now.
All right. That's very, very cool. Very, very cool. So, again, here we are talking about, the secondary album, and, you guys have had some official music videos put out there and a lyric video as well. I'm talking about Succumb. I'm talking about Drowner of Worlds. And the thing that's so wild for the fans that you guys already have, I know they're, kind of, there's got to be a lot of anxiety, when it comes to Adrienne. It's like, are we going to get some melodic stuff, or are we going to get some of that real hardcore guttural growling, like, oh my God, what's going on? You know what I mean? But with this particular album, there wasn't a whole lot of the evil Adrienne. There was a lot more of that melodic, Disney princess. Like, your vocals could be showcased on just about any single soundtrack, that we want, for all of these musicals that all the high schools across the world are playing right now.
Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And you're totally right. I do actually have a lot of anxiety about the fact that there isn't a super lot of the very heavy stuff. There are some moments. Drowner of Worlds is one of them. And there's a healthy dose of extreme vocal moments in mostly melodic songs. But for a long time after I covered this Dimmu Borgir song on YouTube, and it got like 1 million views. And so for a long time, I felt like that was the only version of me that people liked. So I still carry, this was years ago, and I still carry this a little bit, where I'm like, if I don't do the scream thing, maybe they won't like me, which is stupid because I love to sing anyway. And I guess it's something that people appreciate.
Well, I gotta ask this of Jack, maybe more so than you, Adrienne. As far as your hair color goes, all right, because with Succumb, you're like a blonde. We're like, whoa, what's going on here? What's happening? And then Drowner of Worlds, you get a little deeper, you get more into that darker side of yourself, and now we're back to that, that black or brunette. I'm not sure what that color is, but it's dark, and it represents your music. What's up with the hair color change?
Well, so for everyone wondering, the blonde hair, that video was filmed a while ago, and that's the real hair. That was her real hair. She was blonde at that point.
Really?
And now it's back. Do you want to explain why?
Yes, I will explain.
Yeah.
So in the concept, the story of Emerald Seas, the character that I am the voice of is alive and mortal in the first half, I guess, of the album, which includes Succumb. And at some point during the album, the character passes into darkness and is no longer mortal and has a very close brush with death. And this is the point where the character becomes dark and begins to transform into what we know as the demon from Solvay.
Okay. Very, very interesting. So the persona that you're putting together as you're creating these songs for Emerald Seas, you're kind of, you're separating yourselves from Solveig, and you really are taking on that persona. You're making that come to life. It's kind of like a part one on to part two. Yeah, would that be accurate?
Absolutely. Yeah, Emerald Seas would be the prequel to Solvay as far as the story goes.
Wow. Now, Jack, I have to say, man, as I'm listening to Emerald Seas, dude, you shred, man.
Thank you.
You shred. I mean, all you guys, you sound absolutely amazing. It's so difficult for me to comprehend, and you'll see more of this emotion right now. I'm talking to you guys right now on camera, but I'm a writer as well, just like you guys. So when you see my interpretation of the album, that you guys have coming out in February, it touched me. It touched me in a very personal way. I mean, I loved it as much as all your fans do, and it was so diverse in so many different ways, but at the same time, it seemed to tell a story from beginning to end. Because, of course, the very first track off your album, and then the very last track off your album, there were no lyrics. It was very much instrumental in nature. Explain to me, I guess, as you guys, behind creating this masterpiece, why doing the instrumental in the beginning and the end, no vocals? What's up with that?
There are some vocals in there, but they take more of a background
Okay.
part to the orchestral elements and stuff. And so I guess if you want to think of it as a film, the beginning of the film, there's credits rolling and there's music going on, and then the opening dialogue starts. You have this big story, and then the end credits roll, and you have a piece of music at the end as well. And there's music during the film probably, but you kind of have this intro and outro that bookend the story, and we felt that it was appropriate to sort of set up the mood and then also give an exiting piece to kind of bring down the finality of it.
Yep.
I suppose.
I also really enjoy planting Easter eggs in our music. So if you if anybody ever felt like translating the Latin in the intro and outro pieces, you'll find that it roughly translates to the first piece being protect the fire, beware the beast below, immortality lies in the east. And the outro track is I am the end of all things held dear, I am the end. So
Yeah. Well, let's not spoil the Easter egg. Let's make everyone go hunt for it.
Oh, there are many more. Don't worry.
Yes, but for you guys, Berklee School of Music. I mean, you talk about prestigious musical institutions, because I know that I have been looking into that. For my own progeny. But did you guys, Jack? And Adrienne, did you guys meet at Berklee School of Music?
We did. We met in the Berkeley bookstore buying textbooks during her first semester. I had been there for a little bit, but when the semester starts, everybody gets their classes. You go to buy books, and we met buying books one day.
I was wearing a Nightwish shirt, and we were like, "Huh, tell me things," and here we are.
That's way too brief. Listen to you. You guys are like, yeah, we went to Berkeley. It's just one of the most prestigious music schools on the planet Earth. No big deal. No big deal. We just cross and passing, and yeah, hey, Adrienne, how you doing? Jack, yeah, that's cool, and that's it. And before we knew it, we were Seven Spires. Come on now, there is more to it than that. Are you kidding me right now?
Well, it's funny because everywhere else in the world and across the U.S., you hear Berklee College of Music, and it's like, wow, you guys must be really good. But anybody in Boston or that has attended Berklee, it's kind of like, oh yeah, Berklee, whatever. You know?
Yeah, actually, if you go to a venue like in the New England area and you're like, oh yeah, we're a Berklee fan, a lot of times the reaction will be like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah,
wow. Yeah, you're so great.
Well, I guess the bottom line is you guys aren't just talented musicians, you know, by yourselves, you know, which you clearly are. I mean, you're born with it. There's only a certain amount that you can be taught. You know, I mean, there needs to be a certain skill set that you guys are born with. And Adrienne, again, you know, kind of like I was telling you off the record, oh my God. And Jack, you got to feel the same way, man. You have one of the most beautiful voices I have ever heard in my life. I mean, seriously, you guys got to get in front of like Disney, because you should be the voice of like the next great Disney princess or princesses. You know, like if they do like the next 3-4 movies, whoever that character is. Adrienne, I think you should be the singing voice of every single last one of them. Tell me you've never heard that before.
Actually, our old tour mates used to say that all the time. This guy Craig, he plays in a few bands that his various bands were always touring with us, and he always said that we sounded like Disney and black metal in one band.
And who pulls that off?
I guess we try to.
You know, I mean, seriously, that is like, I don't know. They're going to have to like come up with like some different standards. Disney is going to have to come up with some different standards, because you guys really do. I mean, it's like there are certain elements of the music that Seven Spires makes, you know, that wouldn't necessarily be, family friendly. But, you know, at the same time, there's a lot of it, you know, especially off Emerald Seas, that does. And Jack, I gotta say, man, you know, I mean, as a wannabe guitarist like myself, you know, Jesus God in heaven, man, you shred, dude. I have to ask you, Jack, who are some of your mentors? Who are some of the guys that influenced you to play the way you play right now?
Yeah, so my number one influence and kind of the reason I started playing metal guitar in the first place is Michelangelo Badio. I'm not sure if you're familiar. He plays 2 guitars at the same time and just crazy, fantastic guitar player. I also love Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. You know, I grew up on Randy Rhoads and I grew up on Iron Maiden. And but I also took guitar lessons at Berklee with Joe Stump for 3 years, and he's
Joe
an amazing.
Stump, yeah, man, we talked to him. Yes, we had him
Joe
on the
Stump.
show. Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah. He's the sweetest guy. He's awesome and just ridiculous guitar player. So a lot of my tips and tricks and shred capabilities I owe to him.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Now, you know, all that being said, there's got to be something in the genetic pool. I mean, Jack, Adrienne, tell me, you know, that there's some way that you inherited these skills, because these things don't just come out of nowhere. You know, like my daughter, for instance, you know, she's singing, she's working on, you know, going into a school of music and music education and stuff like that. And, you know, when her friends come over to the house and she starts singing and playing on the piano, and she's like, I get that from my dad. You know?
Aww.
I mean, well, come on. You know, is this in the gene pool for you guys? Is this a gene pool type of a skill set that you guys are pulling from?
Why are you laughing?
I know. I was wondering if you wanted to answer that. In my personal opinion,
yeah,
I think that the thing that separates really amazing musicians from like maybe talented musicians that inherited some kind of ear or something, I think that all of the really amazing, really successful musicians have put in the hard work, and I think that's what separates the people who are successful from those who aren't. Like, it's if you've ever read that book, The Outliers, they talk about the 10,000 hour rule, that if you put in 10,000 hours of intentional practice, that's the road to mastery of a craft. And I think that I would rather play with or record or study from a musician that wasn't born with any kind of talent that put in that kind of hard work than someone who inherited all the talent in the world and never put in the effort. I think the effort is what makes the difference.
But like nobody in your family is really musical, right?
Not really. My mom loves music, but she wasn't really a professional or anything like that. She's just a fan mostly.
Yeah. My dad was a DJ.
Adrienne just called you out then, Jack. You know, like you are the beginning. You're the beginning of the bloodline, you know, for the musical talent of your family.
Yeah.
It's all got to start somewhere. It's all going to start somewhere. Adrienne, what about yourself though?
My dad was a DJ in the 80s.
Okay.
And my mom taught me how to play piano when I could sit up. Both my grandmothers sing in church, but not so much anymore because they're pretty old.
Well, we all got to age, you know.
But it's not like it's not like that anymore. But it used to be. But yeah, I mean, nobody's really like a professional musician. My dad really encouraged me a lot. And he was the one who asked me if I wanted to study music for university. And he was the one that taught me how to use a digital audio workstation. And yeah, so even though he never really got to do it, he showed me the way, I guess.
That's so cool. Well, I gotta say, I mean, as soon as everyone heard you sing, they just had to be like, oh, you know. And Jack, I'm sure you're thinking, man, we struck gold with Adrienne. I mean, like, seriously. All that being said, as melodic and as beautiful as you can sound, Adrienne, at the same time, there is a demon inside of you. There's this very evil, from another sphere, another dimension, that inhabits you and will just scare everyone to death. How in the world do you go from sounding something so angelic to like something like, I'm going to eat your soul, and then I'm not even going to try to, sound as beautiful as you sound in so many of the other harmonies that you make. What is with that diversity?
How do I do it? It's all one voice to me. So I guess you could think of it as like, as a guitar player, you have like distortion pedals and stuff like that. So, or I guess overdrive pedals, excuse me.
Same thing.
I don't know. It's just a matter of like knowing how much air pressure to put, how much to tighten or loosen my throat, what kind of mouth shapes to make. And then the biggest part of it is actually the emotional connection. So if I'm having a really good day vocally, and we're doing cleans and extreme vocals in the set, usually I can access that demon and she loads very quickly. It just kind of like bubbles to the surface and then out it comes.
Well, I'm glad you talked about the emotional connection because, again, we're talking about Emerald Seas, Everybody, that comes out February 14th. We're here with Seven Spires, and I've listened to the whole album. I love it, and you guys are going to see just how much I love it soon enough. But when you're writing all the lyrics, when you're writing the music, and you're creating everything, especially for you, Jack, as a guitarist, and you're creating all this music, Adrienne, for yourself, there is such a huge desperation between like the growling, guttural vocals versus this angelic, like, on another stratosphere, like this other, celestial plane kind of voice that you're channeling. It just blows my mind how gorgeous it is. How do you kind of fit that into the songs that you guys are creating for Emerald Seas? Now, granted, there's not a lot of that guttural, like, rah! There's like a few songs where you do feel that, but how do you how do you use your own discretion to say, you know what, this is where this needs to sound a certain way versus, this is how another song needs to sound a particular way?
It's actually easy.
Yeah?
If this is if the song is based on a feeling that requires a very intense catharsis and is otherwise weighing on me and is haunting me and keeps me from sleeping, this is going to be a song that I'm going to scream. And if it's a happy song or like something that needs to be expressed in a certain tender kind of way, then it's going to be a clean vocal song. And if it's something in between, then we kind of think maybe that like high Rob Halford kind of like distorted pitched scream.
Rob Halford, man, you're calling out Judas Priest, who just got snubbed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What's up with that? What do you guys think of that? I mean, I might as well ask you guys. I wasn't going to go there, but, since you brought up one of the legends, Adrienne, good God in heaven, we had some real big-time heavy hitters that belong, in a sanctum, that just, puts them on a pedestal from now till the end of eternity. And, we've got, Judas Priest and Motorhead and guys like that got flat out snubbed. What's up with that?
Yeah. I think for a long time it's been pretty apparent that like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and things like that are mostly popularity contests, and they're just decided by a group of people that own the thing, and it doesn't make those artists any less important to the history of metal and to fans or anything. It's really just a few people's opinion that Biggie Smalls gets in instead of Judas Priest. That's like
he's so mad about it.
He's so mad.
That's it. I'm done. Pow! Pow!
Or like Whitney Houston beats
What the
Soundgarden.
fuck? Are you kidding? All right, stop. Jack, stop. I can't hear anymore. I can't hear anymore.
Old,
You made your point. Yeah. No. It's insane, man. It's insane. And it's insulting for you guys, because that's where you belong, Even a couple albums deep, but that's where we're at. Now, that being said, so let's move on, because I know your time is delicate. And guys, Jack, Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us on Rock Titan Live. I really, really appreciate the time, and it's such an honor to be speaking with you guys. As far as what the future holds, with touring, more official music videos and stuff like that, what can we be looking forward to? I mean, are we planning some big time tours in support of this new album, and some new official music videos that are going to be coming out as well?
There will be one more video.
All right.
It's out the same day as the album, 14th February.
Okay.
14th. We're in America. That's what I can say now. We have 2 big tours this year so far, both North America. First one will be 5 to 6 weeks, starting in March with Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. And the second one, yeah, we're excited. The second one will begin in August. 5 to 6 weeks with Amaranth and Battle Beast, which we're also excited about. Amaranth, Insomnium, and Omnium Gatherum were all bands that we had put on our bucket list for like touring partners, basically, when we had written this album. And it's totally crazy that it worked out. But yeah, here we are. Pleased.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah. Our first time touring, not in a gross van. Like for the 4 of us, we've been jammed in like 7 people sleeping in a 15-passenger type of thing. But we're upgrading to an RV this time.
Yeah!
Yeah, so maybe we'll all have even maybe our own place to sleep.
Yeah, we won't have to stop for someone to pee every 2 hours.
Nice.
I have to say hi so I can sing. like the Disney villain I am.
Oh my God. So, Adrienne, seriously. I I'm not going to gush all over you during this video because, you know, everyone's going to watch this and be like, oh, yeah, you know, look at Scotty J fawning all over her. You know, I'm not going to do that. You know, they're going to have to read the review that I put out of your newest album, you know, and they'll see me fawning all over you then.
Okay.
But seriously, oh my God, your voice is so beautiful. You know, kind of like I told you off the record. Oh my God, for everyone that's watching right now, okay, fine. I'm going to fawn all over Adrienne right now. Oh, Jesus, God in heaven. I mean, you know, one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard in my entire life. Whether it's rock and roll, heavy metal, whatever genre you want to call upon, my God, you know, Adrienne Cowan, your voice is one of the most gorgeous voices I've ever heard in my entire life. And I mean, thank you for blessing the world with your talent. And I have to thank your mom and dad for creating you, you know, to make sure that you were born, you know, so that you could bless the world with this voice that you have. Because my God, seriously, it's just it's incredible. And I referenced Disney a while back, and I was kind of saying it in jest, but oh my God, I mean, you could do it. Like any Disney princess that they decide to create from now to like 2030, you know. I'm saying right now, Adrienne Cowan should be the voice. She should be the voice of what any princess or queen you decide to whip up. And if it's not her, shame on you. You suck. All right? I'm just going to say that right now.
Hopefully the Frozen of Walt Disney is watching from Florida, and his lawyers will get in touch with us.
You know, and Jack, I'm not looking to pull her away from you guys, you know, because Seven Spires has got a great thing going on, you know? But, oh my God, you know, I mean, it's just amazing. And one of the things I kind of talked about is like the kind of similarity, you know, with Amy Lee, you know, from Evanescence. You know, I mean, it's like you got that hard side, but the very soft, melodic, and just beautiful voice at the same time. And I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm so excited to see what goes on with Emerald Seas. Again, everyone, Emerald Seas coming out February 14th. Be on the lookout. Frontiers Music is just pulling together some of the greatest bands, greatest musicians that are on the face of the planet Earth today. And guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, you know, sharing it and your thoughts and everything that's just going on into this project. And I really, really hope I get to catch up with you on the tour trail.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. It's been a really great way to end our day, our media day. Thank you so much for your super positive energy. It really, we're like,
yeah, I hope I wasn't as boring as everyone else.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It really gave me life.
Yeah,
the enthusiasm is refreshing.
Right? Because everyone else was just like breaking everything down song by song, track by track, and they're like, yeah, how was this? And you know, I'm sure it was very bland. No one had the energy, you know, that I have, right?
I think we should rant together sometime.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Rant.
We need to take this, you know, to another platform, you know.
Yeah.
We'll just go ballistic, you know.
Fucker. Can you believe?
I'm telling you right now. But anyone watching right now, go check out rocktitan.tv. Be on the lookout for the review that we put out for Seven Spires on their newest album, Emerald Seas. And it's awesome. We're going to feature your official music videos, lyric videos, and everything else that's going on. And again, Adrienne, Jack, thank you so much for joining us. You guys have a great weekend, huh?
Thank
you very much. Thanks for having us.
All right. Rock Titan TV. I'm Scotty J. We're out.